I never gave much thought to my beliefs. My ideology, my morality, even my sense of conviction. All of it was shaped by the narrow scope of my experiences. But when you've lived a single kind of life, there are only so many questions you think to ask. Raised under one religion, in one corner of the world, following a moral code shaped by a small, insular community, what answers could I possibly have if I never learned to ask anything different? That's why I came to a large university. I needed something different. The grass was freshly cut, the air buzzing with life. Despite the number of students swarming the campus, the space felt surprisingly open. Wide sidewalks, tall buildings with sleek metal panels gleaming in the sun. I felt out of place, almost like the university itself was a different world. Navigating it seemed improbable. I adjusted the strap of my backpack with a swing of my shoulder, letting the weight settle across my chest. Digging into the front pocket, I retrieved a crumpled map, a pathetic attempt to make sense of this sprawling maze. As I fumbled to unfold it, I stumbled forward, colliding with the pavement. A blur had run past me. Tall, blonde, and frantic, his oversized t-shirt flapping like a cape behind him.
Leave me alone!
Panting hard, hands braced on his knees.
Are you alright?
A soft, feminine voice asked, accompanied by a gentle hand reaching out to help me. Thanks. Before I could finish, a smaller figure stormed past, stopping squarely in front of the blonde guy. She was short, with chestnut hair and a fury in her step.
Alex, was it?
She snapped, jabbing a finger into his chest.
Alexander, you weren't even close to right. Now stop touching me with freakish hands.
The girl who had helped me stood upright, releasing my arm. She took a slow, cautious step toward the angry girl.
Vivian, calm down.
Can't calm down. He called us... No. He called you an idiot.
The taller girl leaned down and kissed Vivian gently on the forehead. She was clearly much taller, both physically and emotionally in control.
That's okay. We can't expect everyone to understand.
Short one seems even more stupid.
What was that? I'll beat your stupid...
Vivian's voice caught as she suddenly fell back into the taller girl's embrace. The woman stroked her hair gently, repeating a soft refrain.
Take a few deep breaths and relax. Remember, everything's all right.
Everything's all right.
Everything's all right.
Everything's all right.
Alexander turned to me suddenly.
You. Are you affiliated with them at all?
I shook my head. Before I could speak, the tall girl stepped forward.
I'm sorry. Alexander, was it?
He nodded, clearly annoyed.
My name's Lilah. Sorry that everything started out so hectically.
She looked down at Vivian, still gently patting her head.
For future reference and improvement, I'd really like to know, why do you think our cause is idiotic?
I glanced between the three of them, unsure where to look, my eyes darting awkwardly.
Your little anti-religion extracurricular? Newsflash, no one is going to consider sitting around yelling God is a lie a valuable pastime.
It's not about pastimes. It's activism, an initiative. We're challenging the corruption embedded in religious corporate elites, how they manipulate and distort for their own gain.
I stood there, still confused. I had just arrived here.
Alexander, I understand if you don't agree, but please, don't insult us without even trying to understand.
He took a step forward.
Whatever. Just keep a muzzle on this little mutt.
He flicked Vivian's forehead with condescending disdain.
I'm not scared of you, dumbass.
Remember, everything is all right.
Vivian nodded slowly, breathing deeply.
Everything's all right.
Everything's all right.
Everything's all right.
Creeps. I'm going to class.
As he stalked off, Lilah turned to me with a small, apologetic smile.
I'm sorry you had to witness that. Would you by any chance...
The bell rang.
I apologize for the inconvenience. I'll be heading off. Come on, love.
Vivian mumbled something against Lilah's hand as they disappeared into the crowd. In doing so, a small necklace fell out of Vivian's pocket. It was a cross, with a serpent binding itself around it. I thought to search for both of them and return it, but I needed to get to class, and trudging through the area is quite the challenge, especially on a schedule. Picking up the pace and following many explorative directions, I managed to get to my morning class, Religious Fundamentals. This university had established a core curriculum around the subject in response to a violent massacre perpetrated by a new religious movement in order to promote peace and acceptance of others' beliefs. As I walked in, the class was uniform in arrangement and fit for a larger population of confused 20-somethings. Each subsequent desk row rose a few inches higher above the last, an observation paused by the entrance of a tall, lengthy man, unquestionably hitting his 40s. The man stood behind the lectern in front of the class as he picked up a stack of papers, straightening them with a desaturated expression. Beside him, the name Professor Edgar. My hands rested aimlessly on my chin, incapable of constructing any sort of interesting opinion. Why don't I feel strongly about anything? I'm so unbearably neutral about everyone my eyes come across. I'll never have a personality at this rate.
Look at all these soon-to-be dropouts. They think 30K is the extent of their debt. Whew, boy.
Words spoken by a woman sarcastically thrusting herself beside me, making space for herself almost as if I weren't there. She wore a tight, dark rose-colored sweater that hugged her figure and exposed her stomach. Her noticeably mangled jean shorts and black leggings stood out alongside her thick cardinal lipstick. She twirled her blonde hair, dangling only centimeters above her pale shoulders, unknowingly leaving her crossbody purse on my lap, possibly on the assumption that I'd get a kick out of being her personal storage.
You really do need to stop speaking out loud, Claire,
said a man with brown hair combed clean to the side and a military green field jacket overlaying the torso of his otherwise ordinary appearance. Claire, huh? Welcome to my newly developed shit list. She grabbed an opaque bottle of water, something that, a second ago, was in my possession on her behalf, and took a sip, throwing her arms back on the seat, lazily eyeing the ceiling at a slant.
Oh, is my little Thomas mad at me 'cause I didn't give him a little you-know-what this morning?
Thomas is Claire's boyfriend, huh? The shit list adds you by mere association.
the day literally just started. Can you not do this?
Everyone, take your seats.
That either stopped people from idle chatter or made them proactive about their seating arrangements. Clearing his throat, Mr. Edgar spoke, his hands underlining the name on the board.
Hello everyone, as you can see, my name is right here. Everyone has a unique experience with religion. The board has chosen to inform in part because of last year's untimely tragedy. My condolences go out to the victim. If you have urges that resemble the previous incident, I request that you do not act on the impulse in my classroom.
I almost drifted away from the first few sentences, only for that to change through Claire's whispers to Thomas.
What an empty, sad human being. Look at us, following in his pathetic footsteps. This is us, Thomas.
He began a minute ago. And your fucking breath smells like shit. Did
You two, do you have anything to share?
How about 7 digits just for you, hot stuff?
Claire flirtatiously said, as she waved her phone loosely around.
Why don't you two come to the front of the class?
You heard him, babe.
God damn it, Claire. Wait, why are you bringing your water bottle?
Mr. Edgar's eyes droned along to the two walking. As they arrived, he haphazardly tossed out an introductory hand.
I want to thank our 2 extroverted students in this class for offering their participation. May you two go into detail about your opinions on religion?
Thomas's face grew solemn, looking for a sense of academic validation in his response.
Religion is a multifaceted and nuanced point of discussion. It constructs many points of our society and is a foundation for our identity. Such a thing is sensitive, yet important to implement in a way that allows one to promote their views without...
Claire lightly pushed his shoulder.
Oh, God. I can smell every disingenuous word that comes out of your mouth. I'll spare you from your preemptive PR nonsense.
She twirled her bottle of water, roughly tossing her back to the chalkboard and taking a sip.
Vodka? This is fucking vodka, isn't it? That's why your breath smells like shit.
Unproactively, the professor pushed up his glasses, his free hand resting on his hip.
Alcohol is prohibited in the classroom.
There isn't anything you gain from whatever you do on this planet. All the words in this world, and yet the only end we see is the worms in the dirt. Death lives on as a consumption, not a promise.
Maybe we should...
Shut up! I'm sick of you men! One glance at my body and my expression to assume I don't have a voice. With a mindset like that, I'm sure yours is superior.
My opinion of her flipped on its head, simply for her having one in the first place. I leaned forward with anticipation, a new thought, something that could change me. Thomas stood there, confused, looking at Mr. Edgar as if he were the one who was going to make sense of this.
Claire, was it? Unfortunately, for a public area such as this, information doesn't cater to an individual. And what is obvious to one is the opinion of another. Everything, even if seemingly meaningless, must be explained in full, with sincerity, without disregard, so that the actions one takes come with understanding.
Claire theatrically dropped her water bottle. Vodka spilled on the rough carpet as she popped her mouth condescendingly.
Wow! You are completely right. Thank you for taking thousands of dollars from me before I could make that choice. I'm happy. I'm happy knowing my life savings contribute to the yacht of people who don't even step foot on this campus.
She dropped her weight, leaning onto her boyfriend's shoulder, uncomfortably vulnerable.
Thomas. Sweetie. Even if I told you so, I love you. Okay? We can kiss and kiss and while we're rotting. I'll use lipstick every day to pretend I'm not.
Her hand gripped tightly onto his shirt. A tear rolled down her cheek.
We're going to die. We're going to die! Just like Sis did! On a campus with a teacher who openly expresses how he couldn't care less! That'll be us. You and me.
Her hand gripped tightly onto his shirt. A tear rolled down her cheek.
Promise me that you'll love me until that day comes.
Thomas averted his eyes. giving her anything but the answer she was looking for.
I see.
Loosening her grip, her head hanging low. Everyone in the classroom was glued to the heavy footsteps of the downcast woman, leaving the room with nothing but her internalized truth intact. Her hands loosely dragged across the doorframe, evaporating from eyesight. Shifting my focus to Thomas, who stared intensely at a photo pulled from an open wallet in his hand. The professor hunched over his lectern, eyes shifting to the spilt vodka for a split second, then to the pile of papers he shuffled.
Someone remind me after class to call for a custodian.
As the sound of a page fluttered through Mr. Edgar's thumbs, Thomas shook his head and started running after her. After a few seconds of downward floating, the photo drowned in the puddle of neglected liquid. Chasing the very thing he let down, the professor leaned down to the floor, his fingers inches away from the picture. The bell rang. All the students in the classroom started grabbing their stuff, ready to leave. The teacher stood there, indifferently watching his statistics approach the doorway. But as they did, the entrance was blocked. Everyone seemed scared, afraid. What was going on? Grabbing my belongings, I tried to navigate a shot at whatever everyone was looking at from the back. So many people gathered around that it made it nearly impossible to understand the commotion. Shifting my angle, I found a hole that gave me clear insight. My eyes widened, clutching the strap of my backpack. A pool of blood surrounded a limp human. I could glean a necklace where a serpent was bound to a cross. A person, an actual person, leaning against the wall, arms painted in scars, large, torn open patches of flesh putting on display the exposed insides. There was a trickling of red, deepening on top of an existing red. The source? Cardinal lipstick. I took a step back. I turned with a doubled heart rate.
Greetings, Elijah.
A woman who knew my name. Not just any woman, an immediately off-putting one. Petite in stature, she wore crimson-colored, oppressive, concerning Gothic Lolita clothing, with crosses on the forearms. Who was she? Did she do this? Those questions were interrupted by her pointer finger touching my forehead.
We meet again. I never thought such a time would come.
I tried to open my lips, immediately muted by the sudden burning of her fingertips, wet and painful.
In nomine fallaciae redemptionis et veritatis te aditio ad animam tuam huic pacto rabicandam.
This was followed by the tap of my sternum and the tips of my shoulders. My body paralyzed. The world paralyzed. Sound and movement existed only between my body and her being. Her eyes closed as she continued to speak.
From the depths of thy soul rises a truth unspoken, a sin etched into the very marrow of existence. Yet within this taint lies the seed of redemption, the unyielding will to prove one's worth. To the Zion that is turned away from its own kind. By embracing imperfection, a covenant with the future is forged. A sacred contract to reignite the light of faith in a world long forsaken by its creator.
The aura grew progressively less transparent and more solid. As it rose to the peak of obscuring my environment, it dissolved. What I was left with was a dilapidated church. I gasped, regaining the sudden agency of my body. Beneath my feet, soil swarmed with termites and bugs, nature taking place inside the building. A large bell above rang a handful of times. The only thing familiar, the mythic woman sitting on a dead tree.
I'm Elizabeth.
She said, jumping down to my surface and walking up to me. I choked. My lips trembled. There was an overwhelming discomfort. The earthly mold and sweetened meat driving itself into my sinuses. Whoever she was, I knew I was powerless. All of the confusion was shocked out of me as I gained a conflicting sense of comfort in her hand suddenly wrapping around mine.
Elijah, it has been quite long. I am pleased to meet you.
I don't know you.
That matters not. I have chosen you because I do.
The ground beside me rose. No amount of dirt or insects consuming her flesh would make me forget the corpse that appeared beside me.
Welcome, Elijah.
The edges of her lips subtly curled upward.
Welcome to Heaven's Intermediate.